exactly what the Most High is going to do with his elect, with the nation of Israel in general. Because the nation of Israel will be a nation of superhumans on the planet Earth. And this is what's coming.
First John 3. Behold, what manner of love the Father hath bestowed upon us, that we should be called the sons of God. Therefore the world knoweth us not, because it knew him not. Beloved, now are we the sons of God, and it doth not yet appear what we shall be. But we know that when he shall appear, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is. And every man that hath this hope in him purifieth himself, even as he is pure.
This is exactly what the Most High is going to do with his elect, with the nation of Israel in general. Because the nation of Israel will be a nation of superhumans on the planet Earth. And this is what's coming. This is exactly what the...
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Kakadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to his younger brothers. And peace and blessing, salutations to the hopeful elect out there pushing his word in truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful elect, the believers, the listeners whom have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. All right, and what I want to get into today is laying back on the lesson done by the brother Anah, GMS All In 144. Subscribe and be edified. And he found the lesson. He found a video on YouTube from a guy, this man Shahid Boslin, which he's Islamic, but he makes a good point, when it comes to culture, because even though Islam, is finished, it's through, when you get into it, all right, it's far better, all right, than Christianity, especially Western Christianity, okay, which is pretty much do as thou wilt, okay, and, he makes points, and, he's cultured, you can tell that he's, because he has the perspective, of growing up in Western culture and then, converting, right, to Islam and living, over there in what you call the Middle East, okay, and seeing how the world views America from the outside looking in, and how the customs outside of America, there's customs that exist outside of America that are far different, okay, and that structure and order, that's over there in the East, okay, is a residue, okay, it's pretty much a remnant of our culture. Any righteousness in the earth is a remnant of the culture of the sons of God, that right way, okay, which we fell away from, okay. So that's why you go in Jeremiah, the book of 6, Jeremiah chapter 6, verse 16. It said, "Thus said the Lord, stand ye in the way and see, and ask for the old paths, where is the old way, and walk therein." And as we've been awakened to this truth, this is what we've begun to do, to walk in the old paths, all right, or our forefather that was moving in righteousness, man. Okay, integrity, honor, patience, brotherly love, okay. Some of you sisters, you sincere sisters, begin to operate, in the way of our foremothers that was, all in for this thing. Okay, all in for Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai through their service to the men. Okay, so as we have awakened to who we are, we're being restored back to their way. It says, "And ye shall find rest for your souls, but they said, we will not walk therein." And that's the majority of our people. Okay, they refuse to humble down to a right way. You know, they refuse to humble down to order. Okay, they refuse to humble down to the instructions of righteousness. Okay, and you see how people become worse and worse. You know, and a big part of our culture was having a reverence for the elders. As we're gonna go into that. Okay, but the scriptures tell us, you know, the behavior and the mindset of the people, you know, will be an indicator of the times we're in. We're in the last days. Okay. 2 Timothy 3:1, it says, "This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come." Okay, which difficult times, dangerous times. Okay, and when you remove order, okay, when you remove, you know, discipline from a people, you get chaos. Okay, you get dysfunction, you get violence, you get the pre-flood, all right, behavior. Okay, and that's what we see dominating the earth, especially over here in the West. All right, it says, for men shall be lovers, all right, women alike, of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy. Okay, and this is the culture of Western society. Everyone's proud, everyone's boasting. Okay, there's no fear in, you know, disrespecting the Heavenly Father. People say and do anything at this point. Disobedient to parents, you know, whether it's their actual parents, elders, you know, or in the truth, their spiritual parents. Okay, unthankful, ungrateful as hell, unholy. Nothing is sacred. Nothing is off limits for people to do or say in these times. Okay, and this is a result, all right, of falling away from structure. You see, and this is the culture that Esau pushes on the masses because it's easy to manipulate people when there's no order. Okay, people can be easily manipulated. All right, so this devil, he promotes a society of no culture. Okay, I mean of low culture and of no order. Okay, of pride, boastful. You see, and you go here to Proverbs, and then we'll get into the video. Okay, and show you that our culture, all right, was nothing like that. You know, we had order. All right, once you go to the book of Proverbs, chapter 30. All right, in verse 11, it says, "There's a generation that curses their father and doth not bless their mother." Okay, and this is that generation. There is no doubt. Okay, there's a generation that curses their father and doth not bless their mother. You know, because you go into, it's just dealing with us as a people. You know, it's cute, you know, to be disrespectful to your father. You know, especially, you know, in rap music. Okay, which, you know, is popular to disrespect the father. Okay, and then you put the mother on the pedestal. Okay, which that's off. But then, you know, you have circumstances that the lifestyle that these children live is a complete shame to their father and mother. Okay, because you honor your father and mother. All right, if you're going into, you know, the way it was set up from the beginning, well, you honor them by obeying the Most High. You know, that's why even, you know, us brothers, you know, some of our parents, you know, they don't agree with what we do, but for the most part, they see that we become better men. They're not ashamed of the men that we become. You know, now some situations different, but a lot of situations, you know, they're not ashamed of the men that we're becoming because we're serving Yahweh by Shema Shai. You know, and even though that they're not in the truth, there's still a certain reverence that we have towards them. You know, things we don't agree on, there's still a way that we disagree. Okay? That gives them reverence and ultimately gives reverence to Yahweh by Shema Shai. Okay? It said there's a generation that are pure in their own eyes and yet is not washed from their filthiness, man. Everybody is right in their own eyes. Okay, which he's gonna get into that in the video, you know, because everyone has established their own righteousness. Okay, that's why you have just a ball of confusion when you come to so-called black culture and nigger culture. Okay, all these different, standards. Okay, that are off, man, and the culture has become more toxic and filthy than ever. And this is what it looks like to step away from under the order of Yahweh Bashim Al Shah. We're living in it. Okay, it says there's a generation. Oh, how lofty are their eyes, and their eyelids are lifted up, man. Okay, and we're dealing with a proud people that think they got it. Okay, can't be told anything, can't take any correction. Okay, got this thing figured out. Okay, and we see the results of it. You see? So I want to get this video and we'll get some more precepts. Okay, but he's gonna speak on a few things, dealing with, the importance of elders, and the perfect timing of it, seeing at the time that we are in, okay, with them guys. All right, we see that, them shunning the counsel and the warning from elders, we see, okay, the fruits of that. Okay, we see the fruits of being disobedient, to men that the Lord has set up. Okay, so let's play this.
100 years he lived through it. Yeah. It's not something he has to research. He can just remember. That's tremendous. Yeah. And that's a tremendous asset and a tremendous resource. Alhamdulillah that he's still lucid, that people can talk to him. This is much better than doing some kind of research on the internet. You can actually talk to someone who lived through those periods of time and who knows how those events were perceived at the time, what the events were that were leading up to it, and so forth. He remembers it all. He doesn't have to check on Wikipedia or check Google, something like that. He can just check his own memory bank in his own mind. Your elders are your best resource. Should be your best resource. Your best asset. Because otherwise, like we were talking about...
And he said something heavy. How your elders should be your best resource, your best asset. Okay, now we know in the world, we got a bunch of old dummies. Okay, but even in the world, there are a few older men, older women that can put you on. I'm quite sure, you brothers got older men, all right, in your family, not in the truth, but they have, wisdom you can benefit from about life. Same thing with some of you sisters, man. You probably have older women, grandparents, auntie, grandmother, auntie, or, mother, or even, older women, that have wisdom, okay, about life. They're going to put you on, okay, because you can't replicate, all right, you can't duplicate the experience that they have and the wisdom gained, all right, over time, from their failures and mistakes and getting it right. They can't be duplicated. Okay, that makes them an asset if they grow in wisdom. Okay, now you got old fools that shouldn't even be regarded. You still got old niggas pants sagging, at the Boosie concert. Nigga 48 at the Boosie concert. Okay, pants sagging. All right, rolling a blunt in the stands. Okay, the nigga woman, she 52, red hair, a bodysuit on at the you see, at the concert finish. Okay, but then you have those that have grown and have constantly gained and matured in wisdom, even outside the truth. And now how much more the men that have grown and gained in wisdom within the truth. Okay, how valuable are they? Okay, how much of an asset and the resource are they, man? And we have access to them via YouTube, where you can get on, okay, and ask a question. You can get. I remember Apostle Har, he was giving people names live. Here it is. You had these guys charging for YouTube, charging for Hebrew names. Okay, but years ago, I remember people would ask Apostle Har live, and he would name them on the live screen, man. He would see what their real name was, went into the meaning of their real name, and get their meaning in the Hebrew, and he'd have them a name. He used to do that live. Okay, and these men were charging you for Hebrew names, man. These young niggas charging you for Hebrew names, man. Okay, crazy work. So let's get a couple precepts on that. All right, just going into the value of that. Okay. So you go here to Sirach 8, but the access that we have to the apostles is a gift, but black culture, okay, nigga culture teaches our people to disrespect the elder, you know. If you're not trending, you don't matter. Okay, if you don't have a certain status or a certain look, okay, you don't matter. Okay. And you see where that concept has gotten our people. Sirach 8 and 8, it says, despise not the discourse of the wise, but acquaint thyself with their proverbs. For of them thou shalt learn instruction and how to serve great men with ease. Okay, so listening to our apostles, okay, listening to the elders, even the elders of our camp, the men that the Lord set up, has been cultivating on these men for a decade plus. So you have from 10 years to 40 years of the Lord cultivating, a network of men in righteousness and in instructions of the scriptures, man. And we have access to all of it, man. Where we can acquaint ourselves, all right, with their proverbs, man, with their wisdom, okay, and learn how to serve great men, because the apostles and elders is making us compatible for Yahweh Shai. Okay, the elders of our camp, these men grooming us and, pouring into us, they're making us compatible with Yahweh Shai. That's the great men that we're being raised up to serve. Okay, so through the teachings of those men, the experience that they have, all right, we're able to, to forward a righteous legacy in the earth, with ease. Okay, of course we have, our experience that the Lord take us through so we can get experience, but we don't have to experience everything that they've experienced. Okay, we can just learn from their experience and carry this thing further. And not saying carrying it further mean go above them. No, just carrying what the Spirit has established through them, just carrying it further. All right, for the sake of the nation, man. Not for the sake of pride or clout or some spot. Okay. This is verse 9. It says, miss not the discourse of the elders, for they also learn of their fathers, and of them shalt thou learn understanding and give answer to need required, man. And the apostles and elders of today, they're in a unique position where they've learned from their elders. Okay, so you have two generations of a wealth of wisdom. High priest Ariah, King Masha, okay, High priest Jaquab. You see, all these men, starting with Elder Abba Bivens. Okay, so you have all this wisdom, stored in the apostles and elders, man. That they've obtained through living and having experience in this thing. Okay, and those men they should be looked at as a valuable resource and asset, man. Okay, and that was the culture that we came from, where the elder or the elders were valued. Okay, and there was a law that you had to honor the elders in a certain reverence. Okay, matter of fact, let's get that real quick, and then we get back to the video. Let's get this in the book of Leviticus, the law. And see, everybody wants to throw the law around, but what about this? You see, Jake used the law when it can make them look cute. Okay? But when it comes to being in order, Jake go back to nigga culture. Okay? This is Leviticus 19 and 32. It says, thou shalt rise up before the hoary head and honor the face of the old man and fear thy power. I am thy Lord. All right, so read this in the NLT. It says, stand up as a reverence in the presence of the elderly and show respect for the age. Fear your power. I am the Lord Yahweh Bashem Shai. You know, so there's a law, you know, to give a certain reverence to the elderly, man. Okay, and I got an account that show you this, that there was a practice in our culture, man. Okay, so let's go here to Job, all right, because as Job was, you know, being chastised by the Most High, and you know his friends, okay, was getting on him, you know, trying to show that look, he off, you know. So you had one of Job's friends that was younger than the rest. All right, now let's pay attention to his conduct in the situation. It said Job's 3 friends refused to reply further to him because he kept insisting on his innocence. Okay, so as they were saying that Job was off, he was like, I haven't did anything. You know, so they was going back and forth. All right, so you had Elihu, okay, which I wonder what his name means. Elihu, he was a younger man amongst them, okay, which is Allah, all right, Allah, Yahah, okay, which he is my power, Elihu, okay. So you go here, verse 2 said, then Elihu, son of Barakal, the Buzite of the clan of Ram, became angry. He was angry, all right, he was angry because Job refused to admit that he had sinned and that the Most High was right in punishing him. He was so angry with Job's 3 friends, for they made the Most High appear to be wrong by their inability to answer Job's arguments. Elihu had waited for the others to speak to Job because they were older than him. Okay, you read this in the KJV. Now, Elihu had waited till Job had spoken because they were elder than he. Okay, they were elder than he. You see, so he held his peace and let all the elder men say what they was going to say. Okay, then eventually he chimed in, but he held his peace just based on the fact that these were elder men. Okay, and they've earned their right to speak. Okay, so he had to wait, showing you that was part of our culture, man. Okay, now go here to Sirach, I believe it's 32. And yep, Sirach 32:9. If thou be among great men, make not thyself equal with them. Okay, and you see amongst Jake and Israel, they try to make themselves above particular men that the Lord has established, man. Okay, they go beyond trying to make themselves equal. They're above. Okay, and they get there from nigger culture. Their rebellious spirit, that lack of respect for any Israelite male authority. Okay, because Jake, as you see, Jake don't mind being dominated by the woman, and Jake doesn't mind Esau being in power, in a position of power. But Jake has a problem with Israelite male authority, man. Okay, and that's a character flaw of the matriarch, man, to just rebel against any male authority. Okay, they never seen their mama do it, auntie do it. Okay, grandma do it in some instance. Okay, so they don't even know what it looked like. Okay, they hear that their mothers and aunties belittle men all day, just sitting around. You sitting around listening to your aunties. Okay, talk noise all day amongst men. So you have a very low self-image when it comes to Israelite male authority, man. You have no respect for it. A lot of Jakes have no respect for it, man, because they never seen Israelite male authority respected. Okay, so reading on, it says, if thou be among great men, make not thyself equal with them. And when ancient men are in place, use not many words. Okay, and we just seen that account in Job. Okay, because the main thing when you're around certain men, your main thing needs to be listening, man. Not waiting for the opportunity to speak to try to show that you're on their level. No, you should be listening. We should be listening. Okay? Because we don't have nothing to teach them. They have everything to teach us. And if they do learn something from us, they just learn a new perspective of something that they, that they know. Now, we all learning something new, and you can learn from anybody, okay? But it's going to be very rare that they're learning from us, okay? And most of the time, we're learning from them and applying what we learn from them, okay? So, let's go back to the video, okay? And ain't nothing like talking to a source, man. I just, enjoy, interviewing, older people. I come across a lot of veterans, a lot of men that been at war, okay, as I'm traveled. I love to, talk to people from other countries and get their perspective, because there ain't nothing like getting that real life knowledge, just talking to people, because I like to research things and go into things on the documentaries and certain things, but the best source is the actual person, to be able to sit and question actual people about their experiences, man, and just get a new perspective, you see? And we have that, that access to the apostles and elders, because they talk about everything, man. Okay? But let's go along a little further in the clip.
Is if you don't know your elders, and you don't talk to your elders, and you don't learn from your elders, then you're going to be stuck relearning. With every generation, with every successive generation, there's going to be a Control-Alt-Delete and start over again with every new generation. Start at zero with every new generation. This is why they try to alienate you from the elders. This is why they try to alienate you from the older generation. And to think that the older generation doesn't have anything to say because they don't know what a meme is, or they don't know the latest internet slang or what have you. But their level of understanding, hopefully, is great. And their like I say about Mahathir, the memory data bank that they have from lived experience, there's no reason why you have to go without that. You can learn the lessons that they learned without having to go through what they went through. And then you can start from there. Yeah. Rather than every new generation has to start at zero, you can start where the last generation left off. That's what traditional societies have always understood, with keeping this continuum moving forward. And always developing and always learning and building on the knowledge of the past, rather than relearning the knowledge of the past over and over again for every successive generation. Yeah.
And you see it amongst Jake the most, because this affects our people the most, because we're the people, okay, that has the most dysfunction. All right, we're the most, disorganized people on the face of the earth, headed by the matriarch. Okay, which the Lord said he will break us down and take our structure from us. Okay, because of our disobedience. So the culture that we have as a people, all right, it sets the next generation up for more failure. Okay, you look at the way that our people have been trending from the 60s to this point. Okay, the previous generation only set the next generation up for failure. Okay, when you're a woman, okay, when you're a man, and you're just, you're not adding value to yourself as a man. You're not learning anything. You're not learning any skills. Okay, but you still want to have children. You bring these children into an environment to where you haven't done anything. You don't listen to nobody. So now your ability to provide for them, all right, is nothing. Okay, and you bring them into a struggle. Okay, women, just loose having children, not being considerate. So you're bringing these children into a situation where they're most likely not going to have a father based on your decision making. Okay, based on your poor decision making. So you set them up for failure. Okay, but you got to kick it in your 20s and do you, and go after your lust. But the next generation has been set up for failure. Okay, you see, and so forth and so on. The Jake, we boasting the Jake that sell, you know, because the Jake that sell the most dope, you know, he's glorified. Okay, he's looked at as a hero. Okay, but the ripple effect that he's gonna have on the next generation by turning all these people in the community out on drugs. Okay, it's a major that he sets the next generation up for failure. Children being born to crack mothers. Okay, fathers strung out. You know, because if it wasn't for grandmothers, okay, it'd be way worse when the crack first hit. If it wasn't for grandmothers taking in the children, okay, it'd be way worse. Okay, and we know Esau is not blameless, you know, but we're just speaking on us because now we to the point to where we know better to do better. Okay, because Esau not gonna stop being the devil. He's not gonna hear the video and stop the drugs from coming in. Okay, he gonna rev it up. He trying to figure out new ways. Okay, well, we speaking about our people, man. Okay, and their lack, you know, of being able to take correction, thinking they got it figured out. Okay, this is Isaiah 3:1. It says, "The Lord, all right, the Lord of heaven's armies will take away from Jerusalem and Judah everything they depend on, every bit of bread and every drop of water, all their heroes and soldiers, judges and prophets, fortune tellers and elders." Okay, and you read, it said, "The mighty man, the men of war, the judge and the prophet, the prudent and the ancient," because we didn't have fortune tellers. You know, they went off on that. It says, "Army officers and high officials, advisors, skilled craftsmen." Okay, and read this in the KJV. It says, "The captain of 50 and the honorable men and the counselor and the cunning artificer and the eloquent orator, and I will give children to be their princes, and babes shall rule over them." You see, this is an ass backward society to where you have, like I said, you have women or you have men, okay, like in their 40s and 50s, listening to the instructions of NBA Youngboy. Okay, little baby. These niggas are old enough to be their fathers and grandparents, but they're trying to mimic them niggas. Okay, you have the women, all right, in their late 40s and 50s, mimicking the Sexy Red or Young Miami, you know, whoever, you know, the latest slut rapper, you know, that's famous now, Glorilla. Okay, completely ass backwards, man. Okay, read in the verse Isaiah 3:4 in the NLT, "I will make boys their leaders and toddlers their rulers." And you look at that shit with Sakari, that's a prime example of that. Boys are their leaders. Those guys are boys. Hakai them meant that they're boys. Okay, toddlers. Okay, in the spirit. Okay, they ran away from home early at 2-3 years old. They ran away from home in the spirit. Okay, and began to rule over a congregation. Okay, and you see the results. Okay, they ran away from under that mentorship of the apostles and elders, man. Okay, which is a valuable thing. The Lord set that up. Okay, and you read this in verse 5. It says, "People will oppress each other, man against man, neighbor against neighbor. Your people will insult their elders, and vulgar people will sneer at the honorable," man. Okay, because there's no reverence for the elders of our people. Okay, there's almost no reverence. That's a rare thing. Okay, because hey, our people only listen to what Esau deems prosperity. So if you don't have the prosperity of this world, they don't deem you to be listened to, for you to have an opinion. Okay, if you don't have a certain type of money, certain type of clout, they don't deem you to be listened to. Okay, and we see the results of that, man. You see, and even in the truth, there's no honor for, you know, the elders. They'll say anything. They, you know, like right before all this went down, like this man was accusing, okay, the elders of pushing grape. They can just lie on elders, man, and no one in Israel says calm down. Like, nah, you doing too much. That's the elder. You know, no one is doing it. Okay, because Jake loved that controversy, that gossip, that celebrity beef. See, Jake loved that toxic atmosphere. Okay, where saying the most disrespectful thing is glorified. Okay, and we see what that has led, Jake, man. Okay, but the Lord set this culture up for our people as a punishment, man. You see, He set these things up for a punishment, and now you have a generation that's going backwards because instead of building on the wisdom of the elders of old, okay, Jake has, disregarded it, and now, all right, they cause you see Jake, cause Jake every generation go to prison for the same thing. They get killed and shot up for the same thing. Every woman repeats the single mother pattern over and over and over. No one is learning. Everybody just starts from scratch, and it only gets worse. Okay, everyone is starting from complete scratch, and they keep making the same exact mistakes as a generation before. Except now they're doing it at a younger age, so they're falling further and further backwards. Okay. So, let's get this. Let's see. It's in the Proverbs. I'm gonna let him play them. Get a couple more. Close out.
You could have benefited from referencing your elders,
Right.
and then, like you said, build.
Yeah, and because the Control Alt Delete doesn't apply to everyone. It applies to the masses. It applies to the subject populations. The people in power don't Control Alt Delete the knowledge of the past. They retain all of the knowledge of the past, and they do build on where the last generation left off. They don't delete everything from before. They all come up listening. They all have mentors. They all come up listening to, especially when you're talking about what they call the intergenerational wealth. These rich families, they grow up learning about power. They grow up learning about money. They grow up learning about business. They grow up learning about exploitation and manipulation and colonization. They learn all of that. How to be successful predators. They learn all of that. Just like actually predatory animals that learn how to hunt. So do they. But the masses are taught to disrespect their elders, especially in the West. Alhamdulillah, it's not the case as much.
And she's speaking of the ruling classes, even when you go into the upper middle classes, okay? Because only in our culture you have the matriarch that dominates the culture, only amongst the tribes, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American, especially the Southern Kingdom, okay? But in every other culture, they have a patriarch system, okay? And that, rebellious woman and single mother shit, that's on the outside of the culture, okay? And you have the upper middle class, the rich, all right? And the wealthy and super rich and the elites, they run off a patriarch, okay? Where the men are being mentored, even if it's not their father, their uncles, or, a friend of their father that's, so they have a strong network of men, okay, that establish, structure, and wisdom and wealth is passed down. Because not only is the wealth passed down, but there's a wisdom. They're trained, they're groomed. That's why they send their children to certain elite, okay, colleges. Now, the more you get up, the more it's rigged, okay? Like like Elon, he would send his child to Harvard, but he wouldn't have to, there would just be, the college would be paid off, and he'll just get into them inner circles. But there are, when you go to the upper middle class and the rich, they do groom their children. That's why they go to the private schools. And, they have these different internships and this and that because they're being groomed, okay, to carry on the legacy of their father. Okay, the legacy of a family name. Okay, But amongst our people, that's non-existent. That's very rare. Okay, because the matriarch is at the forefront, and there's no order, there's no structure. Okay, there's no vision. Okay, just emotions, and I got it. Okay, but like he said, because you go into the scriptures, matter of fact, I think that's in Job 20. Might be 21. Yeah, this is Job 21:7. Said, wherefore do the wicked live, become old, yeah, are mighty in power. Their seed is established in their sight with them, and their offspring before their eyes. Okay, and that's that generational wealth. Okay, and before these Edomites, these certain even other nations, before their children inherit their wealth, man, they have stipulations, within those in those wills. You got to go to a certain amount of schooling, you got to learn this, you got to achieve that, then you get the wealth. Okay, but they get conditioned, they get structured. Okay, and they have a patriarchal system where the men, okay, run those affairs. Okay, the elites, the Rothschilds, Maya Amshar Rothschild, he got it in the will that there's never to be any women involved in family business, man. Only the men, strictly patriarch. They give um that dysfunctional culture to us, mainly Jake, but they give it to the lower class, the working class. See, they push that happy wife, happy life, and all that mad. See, they push that to the lower class to keep them confused and divided. Okay, but they run a tight ship with a patriarch. Okay, and they have what you call generational plans. Like even now, what the elites are trying to do, see, they trying to get this digital thing started. They know, okay, we're not going to be here, okay, to see this thing crowned. All right, but we want to get this thing in place. We need to get it up and going. It's going to be a generation that's going to figure out immortality on the left hand side. This is how these devils are thinking. Okay. Meanwhile, we under the curses as well. Okay, that's a curse, for a nation to be ran by women, by the matriarch. That's a curse within itself. Okay, to where now you got the nation in survival mode. That's why Jake keep making the same mistakes. Selling dope has not gotten our people out of poverty. Okay, you have money for a little while and then you end up the same way. Okay, the woman trying to get rich, trying to, get on by getting pregnant by a rich nigga. That's not solving the problem. That's not a generational plan. That's not a long-term vision. Okay, or whatever she trying to do this and scam and do all the hot girl lifestyle. And see, none of that plays out. That's not generational thinking. That's the exact opposite. Okay, that's the exact opposite. Because now you setting the standard of your daughters to mimic that. You're setting the standard for your sons to mimic your poor decision making. As men and women. Okay, and the next generation is now further backwards. Okay, instead of being ahead. So that's why you see the generation, the gap, great gulf fix that the scriptures speak about, it keeps getting bigger. Okay, because as a people we're going backwards, and Esau has been steady going forward. Speaking of the upper middle class, the rich, all right, the wealthy and the elite. Okay. But see, in Yahushua, he's gonna flip that around. Instantly. You see, the head gonna be the tail gonna be the head. Okay, but even before that, we're learning order. Before we get this inheritance promised by Yahushua, okay, promised by Yahweh by Shem Shai, well, there's a standard that he expects us to uphold. There's an order. Okay, and how we treat the elders is, the men that he set up, all right, plays a part in it. Okay. So yeah, and there's more we can get. But that was the point on that. So, I want to end it with. I think that's Zechariah 8. All right, this is Zechariah 8. And 3, it says, Thus saith the Lord. All right, thus saith the Lord, I am returned unto Zion, and will dwell in the midst of Jerusalem, and Jerusalem shall be called a city of truth, and the mountain of the Lord of hosts, the holy mountain. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, there shall yet old men and old women dwell in the streets of Jerusalem, and every man with his staff in his hand for very age. Okay, now we're not. It's not saying that we're going to be old. Okay, as far as you know, as far as when you think of your grandmother, your grandparents, or aging, but they're just going into a rank. Okay, because you're gonna have, people that are older in the kingdom. You're gonna have those first fruits. You're gonna have the 1/3. Okay, and then there's gonna constantly be children and generations brought forth in the kingdom. Okay, but there's always gonna be a reverence, all right, for the elders, all right, those that are aged, okay, in the kingdom. Okay, they that have been in the kingdom longer, there's gonna be a reverence. Okay, because we're gonna stay in our prime. Okay, but we are gonna have the honor, those first fruits, the 1/3. Hey, it's gonna be a particular honor that they have. Okay, and it's gonna be reverence, in the kingdom. And it says, and the streets of the city shall be full of boys and girls playing. Okay, in the streets thereof. All right. Thus said the Lord of hosts, if it be marvelous in the eyes of the remnant of this people, all right, in these days, should it also be marvelous in my eyes, said the Lord of hosts. Okay, so just as we await, the kingdom and the perks that come with it, Yahushua can't wait to set this order up in the earth, man, to reestablish everything in righteousness, man. Okay, so thus said the Lord of hosts, behold, I will save my people from the east country and from the west country. Okay, and I will bring them, and they shall dwell in the midst of Jerusalem, and they shall be my people, and I will be their power and trust and in righteousness, man. Okay, in truth and in righteousness. Okay, so Yahushua, he's coming back to establish that, man. Because that's a major thing too. That's, that's one of the things to look forward to. Just honor and integrity being a standard in the earth, man. Reverence, truth, humility being established in the earth. And that's what Yahushua is going to bring, So that was the point, just wanted to touch on that, respond to that brother video. But there's some more. If y'all want to finish watching that video, I think the name of that channel is Middle Nation. Okay, that's the name of the channel. Let me see. If I can copy it. Let me see. Okay. So yeah, it should be in there. Yes, in there. Yeah, so we want to watch it. Like I said, he Islam, so he go off on, things here and there, but he says a lot of things in general, that are on point. So Lord will you brothers. All right, and you sisters edified to the next time I say shalom.